Hey folks, just working on the street rod here. Figured it'd be a good opportunity to show you putting these panels in and keeping the metal from stretching too much. As you weld, you're going to end up with a lot of heat distortion on this stuff, especially with this weld that I'm doing in the valley here, because I'm welding 16 gauge to 3/16 plate. So I've got to push quite a bit of heat down into the plate in order to get good penetration, but I don't want to burn through my sidewall. So I'm pushing a lot of heat below and then whipping up just a little bit to get my whip stitch up into the plate. But it's been donging and donging on me a bit here, so I wanted to kind of show you how I keep this from warping all the hell. I've got a bottle of water here. This is just a medical style eye squeeze bottle. And then I've also got a tub with some rags in it here. So both are valid for shrinking. You can also get a spritzer bottle or even a garden weed sprayer type thing. But you just want to keep some water here that's at room temperature to flash cool this. And so I just work about 3 inches at a time. So I'm just going to weld about 3 inches and then flash cool it and then weld about 3 inches. But you also want to make sure that you get your water out of your trench. So you do want to have a dry rag nearby as well. Obviously keep it far enough away where it doesn't catch on fire, but you do need to wipe your water out of there and just kind of keep working your distance and shrinking as you go. So if you were doing this on a quarter panel, you would only want to do 1 inch at a time. So I might do an inch here, and then an inch down here, and an inch down here, and then I would cool those. Or I do an inch, cool it, do an inch, cool it, do an inch, cool it. Because if I started doing long welds along there, it's going to get all wavy and move quite a bit on me. So you can also, if you need to stretch something, or if you need to reshape it, you can add a little bit of heat and then ding that with a hammer and stretch it, and then leave it cool to room temperature, and it'll keep that stretch. So it's amazing how even with like a Bernzomatic torch for doing plumbing, you can move your sheet metal quite a bit. But here we're welding, and I'm trying to keep this panel as straight and smooth as possible. So I figured it's a good opportunity to show you that. That's about 3 inches of weld there. And I just spray down the panel, or take my rags. And this works real good with either just shop towels or with a terry cloth, like an old bath towel or a beach towel. Now I gotta get my water out of my trench where I need to weld, or else that's going to cause porosity. See, I kind of had a rough start there, so I didn't get all of my water out of my trench. Obviously, the advantage of a squeeze bottle or a spritzer bottle is you don't have to take your gloves off in order to dip. Otherwise, when you're doing the rags like this out of a bucket, getting your gloves wet kind of sucks. obviously you're going to end up with some flash rust from using water on this, and that's something you just have to kind of deal with. Unfortunately, body work like this does require that you heat shrink and keep that cool, and there's no real better device for cooling it than water. Some people will put like machinist oil in there. That stinks like hell, and if you have to continue welding like this, the machinist oil can cause porosity. But it is a good way to deal with the flash rust problem. But anyways, that's how you do it. I'm able to do 3-inch stents on this because I've got heavy metal and my panel is fully supported. If that panel was open on the top and I was doing this, I'd only be doing 1 inch or so. So you need to control the length of your weld based on how well your piece is supported. But even here, even though I've got it supported on the top, fully welded, and it's welded on the inside on the bottom, I still do need to shrink that in order to keep it from getting all wavy. So that's all there is to that, to putting in your weld and keeping it shrunk so that it doesn't stretch out or get all wavy on you. So hopefully that's some useful information, and we're still plugging on this street rod. Thanks for watching.